Today's video is brought to you by Grey Viking Games. Click the link in the description below to buy MTG Arena codes for cosmetics, packs, and more.
Hey, what's up everyone? My name is Jeff, and today we're going to have some fun playing Magic. And today we are comboing around one of my favorite cards of all time, Syr Konrad the Grim. And we are doing it with one of the most hilarious cards from Strixhaven, Harness Affinity, which is insane. So 7 mana, instant speed, exchange your hand and your graveyard. So that means that your hand goes to the graveyard and your graveyard becomes your hand. So if you have 20 or 30 cards in your graveyard, those all come to hand and you can do tons of crazy awesome things. You get tons of extra value, and the fact that this is instant speed just makes it insane. So if we already have a Syr Konrad out on the battlefield, then Harness Infinity should just be a game-ending blow. Because Syr Konrad says whenever another creature dies or creature card is put into a graveyard from anywhere, that means your hand going into the graveyard or any other stuff going into the graveyard, getting mailed, anything like that. Or if a creature card leaves our graveyard, then Syr Konrad deals 1 damage to each opponent. So any of those things happening, we get to deal 1 damage to the opponent's face. And then we can also just pay 2 to mill with Syr Konrad, hopefully hit creatures from our deck and their deck, and it could be a 2 mana deal 2 over and over and over again. It's a gamble, but it could be a really great way to use 6 to 8 mana. But one of the hardest things about Syr Konrad is that it dies so often. It has a massive target on its back and really gets taken out way too often to rely on that combo happening. So Harness Affinity gives us additional combo piece here, so we can bring our graveyard into our hand at instant speed. And then on our turn, we play out a Syr Konrad, and because of Harness Infinity, we should have a land and the ability to play out a Tymaret Calls the Dead, mill over more cards, deal more damage to face. And then we go to discard and discard all of the creatures from our hand for 15-20 points of damage with Syr Konrad. And because our deck has 29 creatures in it, if we mill over half of our library, we should be getting close to that 15 damage mark. Of course, the dream is to deal as much damage as possible, get up to that 20 mark, but I'm trying to go with what's realistic and what's actually possible in this format. So the rest of this deck is focused around making sure that we can mill our deck and get up to 7 mana really fast. Jaspera Sentinel for ramp, Mire Triton to mill. Tangled Florahedron is awesome here, making sure that we can have extra lands, have ramp, and that we can have extra creatures in the deck to mill over and not just lands to hit. School Prophet adds mana and mills cards. It's the perfect card here. Tymaret Calls the Dead can mill a bunch of cards over and exiles our creatures, which isn't great, but having those zombies can be another win con for us. World Shaper, every time it attacks in, we get to mill 3 cards, and if it ever dies, then we return all lands from our graveyard to the battlefield tapped. By the way, World Shaper is in the Arena starter decks. That is why it is available in Standard. Some people don't really like this kind of card for it, but it works so perfect with this deck that I feel like we had to play it. Then we have Acolyte of Affliction, mills 2 cards and can return Syr Konrad or something else to our hand. And of course, Binding of Gods, some removal and ramp for us. So the one biggest downside that we have with this deck is that if we mill over all of our Harness Infinities, we don't have any way to bring it back to hand. Once and Future is one of the ways that we can do that. There's some other cards out there, but for the most part, we're just trying to focus on hopefully hitting it and having a bunch of other cards that are worthwhile, even if we don't. The other part of the game plan is just play Syr Konrad, mill a bunch of cards, deal a bunch of damage, hit in with the creatures that we do have, and then hopefully that's enough to kill the opponent. Cool thing about Harness Infinity, though, is that if we get to cast this and have a bunch of other ones in the graveyard, we get to bring those ones to hand and then do it again. Couple of 1-ofs, we have Chainweb Aracnir just to have something that can escape, also gives us another 1-drop to play, and Kazandu Mammoth in here kind of for the same reasons that Tangled Florahedron is, and it's also a pretty good threat. There's a combo there with World Shaper and Binding the Old Gods. It would actually be a sweet combo to go off with Kazandu Mammoth, a bunch of landfall, and maybe like a Woe Strider to sacrifice this. That's a different deck though. All right, so let's go ahead and dive into the gameplay, see how this deck does for us, and wish me luck. But real quick, a reminder to hit the subscribe button. In the last 28 days, I had 69,000 returning viewers. Nice. I have that many people watching multiple videos every single month. And if we're gonna hit 50,000 quick, then I need some of you guys to hit the subscribe button. All right, let's go ahead and dive into the gameplay, see how it does for us, and wish me luck. All right, up against Shama. And we have some ramp. This is good. Sentinel, School Prophet. I like all of it. Because of how few lands that we have, we do need some sort of ramp sooner than later with this, so I like that a lot. Let's play out on black, and I believe I can play Aracnir into School Prophet, right? I'm trying to think this through. Yeah, I can. Okay, good. My brain was having one of those like, I don't know, but I can. All right, Harness Infinity in hand. We have the mana for Acolyte of Affliction, which hopefully will help us hit another land and do the same thing on the next turn. and then we can play those lands, and life is good. Of course, then we need to find more stuff, but again, as long as we, you know, find another Harness to Infinity, any of that kind of stuff, we're in good shape. So, autopay here, Acolyte of Affliction, help us find a land. Not a land. Well, bring Tymaret Calls the Dead to hand, pass the turn. I mean, we have a pretty decent board state here as well. When this enters, deals damage to target flying creature, right? So, equal to its power. Not that it matters now, but, you know, if it goes to the graveyard at some point. Hey, looky there. When you gain life, put a counter onto this. All right, so it's definitely a pest deck. So let's go... if we don't hit land, we've already played a land this turn, so let's go Tymaret into School Prophet. Do I want to get rid of an Acolyte of Affliction? These are some of our best cards that we can have. We are just kind of going wide and aggro here. And I'm kind of okay with that. Can also start milling with the School Prophet. Let's get out the ramp still. Tap down. This has reach. Tap down the zombie. Attack in with Acolyte. Jumps with Twitch. Okay, that's fine. So I think this is a Lizette deck, is my assumption. All right, so we have how much mana? This is a zombie anyway. We're getting to the point where we want to start actually trying to combo off here. Let's go Florahedron. I was debating if I wanted to bring something back with the Acolyte of Affliction, but I think what I'd rather do is let's add black mana here, tap down Aracnir. Play a Syr Konrad. We have the ability to mill 2 now, and that could just be 2 points of damage. Let's attack in here and here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One more land, and we have Harness Infinity. If it dies, we still have the chance. Swing in. They want to have stuff die for this Blood Researcher. If they're taking 4, I mean, all we want to do is have their life total go down, so we're okay with that as well. Oh gosh. Okay, yeah, so they kill Syr Konrad, but like we said, we have the ability to still kind of bring it back and do stuff. We will mill 2 cards now. 1 damage. It doesn't trigger on itself dying. It says another creature dies. Alright, not a land. Not really. Scry 2. Actually, let's see here. Oh, we don't get to draw this card, right? We can mill 2, though, and bring it back with Acolyte. We can play out the Snarl, I guess. I think I'd rather have the Triton mill for us here. With Acolyte of Affliction. Because we can play out the Tangled Florahedron as a land or a creature. I keep that on top. Acolyte of Affliction. Dang it, lost another Harness to Infinity. Castle Locthwain is nice as well. Just to like have that out there as an option for later. You can bring back Syr Konrad, but part of what we want to do is fill this graveyard more. And that's where I'm debating if I want to go for the Mire Triton instead. We know that we have other Harness Infinity, so we can play those again. Start comboing off. Let's just grab another land. Play out this land. Mill 2. Let's just play it out. Okay. Alright, attacking with these guys. I like this deck. Like, we have enough creatures that this is just like, if people don't have board wipes, we're in pretty good shape. If we have a Syr Konrad and then we have board wipes, the biggest issue is that the format right now has way too many exile board wipes. Like, that's one of the biggest issues with decks like this, is that Shadow's Verdict just trounces our deck. There's so many cards like that that honestly just get very, very frustrating. All right, Village Rites. Yeah, Blood Researcher gets bigger. That's cool. So yeah, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we can mill 2 still. Lizette. All right, now we can mill 4. And this is instant speed. So put this on black for Castle Locthwain. I think now we pass the turn. We could throw more creatures into the graveyard with this, but we can also do the same thing with Syr Konrad. We'll play Syr Konrad, swing him in, and then, you know, do whatever, discard at that point. So let's just pass the turn. Hopefully they don't combo off here. They obviously have lots of life gain potential. Tangled Florahedron. And I'm also fine chump blocking and have a lot of stuff go to the graveyard right now too. Like, that's also very good for us. Acolytes to hand are actually pretty good too. Okay, Blood Researcher. I don't think we want to have too many of our ramp creatures die, because we want to be able to play Syr Konrad and maybe something else. All right, so mill 2 cards. Yeah, 5, 6, 7. So yeah, mill 2 cards. Harness Infinity. Yes, it's happened. Oh, that's just fun stuff right there. All right, so play Syr Konrad. Play out. Make sure we tap this guy down here. Tap here. Play Tymaret Calls the Dead. Actually, wait, we can play land. Right, so play out this. Play, where is it? Tymaret Calls the Dead. All right, have this. Syr Konrad deals 2 damage. I actually could have exiled the creature and done an extra 20 damage there. That was a misplay. Mill 2 cards. Damage there. Mill 2 cards. Does any other stuff have lifelink? Only this, but if it dies, it also is okay. So swing in with these guys. And then we get to discard how many creatures? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So yeah, we have the game. Oh, they exile, right? My bad, I messed up with that. I forgot about Valentine's ability there. Oh, I don't have enough. I can't discard this many. What things I want? I do think I want a Syr Konrad in hand, so Smith 5. 5 more. That's the game. Yes! Exactly how we wanted it to be. Oh, that's good. And like I said, this isn't a guaranteed deal 20 points of damage to face, but it is a 10 points, 12 points of damage that's really hard to interact with, and that is what makes it super fun. All right, up against Sonata, and we don't have any black mana, but we have 3 lands. We really need black mana. Let's mulligan. Yeah, we'll keep this one. I think we drop. I'm not sure if we can drop a Harness Infinity, because it's the main card that we have to find in hand at some point. So let's drop. I guess a Tymaret, man. Having double Tymaret though is so good too. And School Prophet can get us there. Binding of the Gods, like so. This lineup is really nice. Let's go this way though. We still have a chance to find another Tymaret Calls the Dead the same way that we do this, but we have to have this in hand at some point during this game. The hard part is like this is our main card draw as well. I have Castle Locthwain in the deck for card draw in the land mana base. I only have one though because I had to trim down so much on basics and everything that it was just going to be another tap land if I wasn't careful. School Prophet. Luckily, being on the play, this should allow us to go off. Dude, this card, this is probably the most underplayed card that has so much flipping value. Let's go on green. Really? When it scoops it up. Ah, we had the perfect setup and they scoop. Curse you. All right, up against Jury, and this is a beautiful hand. We are only running 19 actual lands with a bunch of the modal lands in there. And so having 3 of these in hand is a very good sign. At the same time, though, there is that chance we just never draw another one. We will actually lead out with green source here, past the turn. We have Binding Little Gods to help us find lands, and we do have Snarls in the deck. I think we only have 2 because I dropped down some of the lands, but still want to hold on to a Swamper Force in hand when we can. Hateful Eidolon. And there's the Snarl. All right, perfect. This is like the best hand we can have. Hateful Eidolons are going to be a little bit annoying. Or, I mean, just like the kind of removal they have here is going to be annoying. They shouldn't have as good a removal for Syr Konrad, though. They'll have to have like 2 cards for it. So hopefully we can just combo off and win. Other issue, they're going to gain a lot of life. Yeah. Down to 21, 21. All right, so let's go with... Could just go Tangled Florahedron. But we want to mill the graveyard more. That's the whole game plan. We still need to find the Harness Infinities. Let's exile the other Tymaret. Try to keep as many creatures in the graveyard as possible. Dead weight, yep. Binding should be pretty nice here. Double binding, actually really nice. Other cards would be nice. Acolyte of Affliction. We do need to find a few cards and actually bring them to hand at some point here. All right, nothing else. Let's still make sure that we have zombies coming out. I think in general that is the best. Binding of the Gods, kill the Hateful Eidolon. Keep the ramp going. And I mean, at some point, we just hope to top deck a Harness Affinity, even if we just ramp up and get to that point later. Death Touch Menace. Yeah, it gets to keep drawing cards. I hate you so much right now. All right, so no scry, no life gain from this Tymaret. Boo. Grab a Triome. We could probably be running like 2 copies or 1 copy of Eerie Ultimatum as well, just because it works with the combo anyway. But I just want to kill this again. They have Lurrus to bring it back. We only have so much removal. School Prophet, Tangled Florahedron, help us ramp. This can mill as well. So let's just go ahead and throw these guys out there. Pass the turn. Play the land. We're all in on the combo. Let's pass the turn. So we want to get up to the Harness Infinity as fast as possible. Do we have a Syr Konrad in the graveyard? No. But we have enough stuff that Harness Infinity would still be worthwhile. We can bring another Harness Infinity back to hand. Set up our hand really well. Like, it's a 7-mana draw. A bunch of stuff is still good. Oh, no. Oh, for the love. Come on. They're playing Necromentia in this deck. So I'm guessing they're grabbing the Harness Infinity. Oh, that's just so rude. I hate this person with every part of myself right now. They have found every one of these. Oh, boy. Well, we have all the lands. We have a ton of ramp. Only 9 cards in the graveyard here still, though. Yep. Luris, they probably play it out. Okay, Arcane's Vessel. They can Mogus' Favor onto it, have it die. Acolyte of Affliction, good stuff. In fact, that brings back our other binding of the old gods. I mean, unfortunately, oh, we do have enough to play it right now, but maybe it's just another Acolyte of Affliction, actually. Bring binding of the gods to hand. Yeah, these cards become pretty awesome. We can just start stacking these up like crazy. I grab another one of these to hand so then I can play it and then grab the Binding of the Gods on the next turn. Let's do that just to see if they don't see the option. I mean, I'm guessing bad things are going to happen anyway. Luris. They have a way to sacrifice this. Hateful Eidolon. Mogus' Favor onto Arcane's Vessel. Mire's Grass. Okay, draws a card. Another Hateful Eidolon. Syr Konrad. All right. All right, we need to kill the Luris. It's very important here. So, Binding Old Gods to hand. Play it, kill the Luris. This is part of the combo. Like this is one of the greatest things about Acolyte of Affliction. We can just kind of go off with this. Don't want to kill the Acolyte of the Arcane's Vessel when we can avoid it. I mean, at some point they've got to run out of all of these, you know, Mire's Grass and dead weights and everything, right? Especially now that Luris is gone. Hopefully. Let's go Berserker. Mogus' Favor onto Vessel. Get 2 counters onto this. This dies, draw 2 cards. It seems like a legitimate play. Not onto the Vessel. Interesting. Yeah, it's okay. So how much mana do we have? We have 8 right now. 9 with this. What ways do they have to kill stuff? I think Syr Konrad should be safe. That's the hope. We know that we can also start milling them out a little bit more. Making sure that I have black mana available here to mill twice. Alright, so Syr Konrad. I think I want to mill them first, like right away, just to make sure they have less chance of hitting into Call the Death Dwellers or whatever. We know that they have Necromencias. We no longer have Harness Infinities. So let's just go ahead and go for this now. No attacks past the turn. Trading off is pretty good for us. These gain menace when they cast 2 spells, okay. So they can Mogus' Favor. Actually, how many cards do they have in the graveyard? This takes 2. So they can Mogus' Favor onto Vessel and then play it again onto something else. So they guaranteed have some good stuff. Feed the Flip and Swarm. Come on. Was that our first Syr Konrad that we found as well? Watch them have another Necromancer. They do have another. Oh my gosh. I hate this game so much. I'm out of here. Oh my gosh. Oh, that was dude, with how many cards they've drawn a lot of cards, but still just that one was dumb. All right, up against Darth Nemesis, and we will keep this hand. Hello. That School Prophets are so good. Let's lead off. We need to get up to Acolytes and Syr Konrad, so we're going to lead this off with a land. We have so many of these tap lands that if we find one on turn 1, I think we just always play it. It's a kind of a necessity. Okay, Snarl playing out, Triome, School Prophet. Pass the turn. Next turn we can School Prophet and Triton, and then Acolyte of Affliction brings something back for value. World Shaper, actually. I want this card out as quick as possible. Pass turn. This is, if it ever gets to attack, becomes the absolute best card in our hand by far. Eska's Chariot. Alright, so we need a mill to try to get as many lands out in the battlefield as possible. Oh. That's interesting as well. So I could swing in and then Binding the Titans kill the Eska's Chariot, like if they just block with these guys. But I'm guessing they bring out the Eska's Chariot block, which is actually what we want to have happen, right? So let's go Mire Triton. Do I just want to mill with this School Prophet instead of playing out the other School Prophet? I think I do. Not a land. Okay, 1 land. Mill 3 more. It's a little bit greedy. How worthwhile is it? If it gets us 2 lands, that's a pretty big play. So 3 cards, chance of hitting 1 more land is really good. All right, 3 more. Okay, there we go. 3 lands, fantastic. Now if this ever dies, yay. Yeah, World Shaper. Oh man, I love this card so much. It is. I feel like you have to be ramping up to it. You have to get it out by turn 2, turn 3. Sorry, turn 3 is probably the fastest. Oh, Eska's Chariot. This only brings back creatures, so they have to turn to a creature, then bring it back. Yep. Swing in. You know you want to. Forget about our Mire Triton. All right, so that is bad. Binding of the Old Gods needs to kill Eska's Chariot now. Could get out Syr Konrad now and just start dealing damage, though. Let's wait another turn. Binding, kill Chariot. Swing in with Shaper. Just the Shaper. Hey, that's a lot of Harness to Infinities. Darn it. So only 3 lands right now, but I can also mill 2 if I need to. Let's 3 get in. We play out the other Prophet. Pass turn. Now we can Syr Konrad, mill 4 cards, mill 3 cards. Like, yeah, this is just better. They decided not to blink this. All right, well, they could have a counter spell. That'd be annoying, but we do have Acolyte of Affliction to bring it back. Like, it's okay. Without Snarl. Attack in now with, I think we go aggro. Bounce spell would be really annoying. These guys are fighting? Okay. They're doing a lot of damage to themselves here. That's 2 more points of damage. They might just be scooping here. That's my guess of what's happening. Swinging with World Shaper. Mill 3 cards. Creatures. 2 creatures. Down to 6. Dude, Syr Konrad is awesome. They trade off. Here, that's 2 more points of damage. So they go down to 1. Alright, sounds good. They had double decisive denial. Why not kill the Syr Konrad with them? Like, that actually gets you into decent shape. Like, block with what I was attacking with, and then double kill the Syr Konrad. Like, that makes a lot of sense. Alright, gain Death Touch. Yeah, good game. We also have the Chainweb Aracnir, which immediately exiles stuff. They don't have a chance to actually do anything with it. Doesn't matter. Binding of Gods. Triggers, and that's game. Alright, sweet. Dude, this deck is actually pretty sweet. I'm not playing it in ranked right now because it doesn't have enough combo. Or it doesn't have enough interaction with some of the other decks out there is the biggest issue. But man, it's super fun. All right, guys. Harness Infinity with a 75% win rate, 3-1, and this deck was awesome. Like, I'm not playing too many games of this one because I'm trying to keep my videos a little bit shorter. I have to record a lot of videos right now. And so, anyway, this deck was super, super fun. The one game that we lost was... I still feel like if we had found a harness... Like, they played Necromentia against us. If they hadn't played Necromentia against us, I feel like we had plenty of ways to come back. And so, the amount of creatures that we play in the early game play a really good defense. Like, and they really do. Mire Triton gaining us life. School Prophet is just... busted card. Tymaret Calls the Dead has a chance to gain his life. You know, so we have actually some like good life gained in the early game as well. Aracnir coming back from the graveyard is nice as well. Like things like that are really good. And then we have this like awesome just like value town combo. Binding of Gods with Acolyte of Affliction. I kind of forgot about. I've done that in the past, but it's so good. Like it really is so good. Acolyte of Affliction is a card that I think is underplayed as well. It's a really good card. Yeah, just being able to kind of keep bringing that back, hitting him again, doing that kind of stuff is good. Syr Konrad into Harness Infinity. We only really got to do the Harness Infinity one time, but it was awesome. Like, it was the bestest of things that ever could have happened. And so that was the one side of it. It's like I feel like we missed this a little bit more. Do I want to bring in... So the things that the deck could bring in is card draw, to make sure that we have ways to hit the Harness Infinity, like so that we're bringing cards to hand as much as we're throwing things in the graveyard. That's a hard thing to do because we have so many cards that need to be throwing stuff in the graveyard, and this only becomes a good card, Harness Infinity, if we have a massive graveyard. And so we have to have that massive graveyard. So that is the biggest issue of this deck, is that if you want to go for the Harness Infinity piece of the combo, luck has to play into it. If it goes into the graveyard, which, like I said, we do want some of these in the graveyard, and that's okay. But I think it's one of those, like, if you do have it in hand, if you're mulliganing, like the time I threw it to the bottom, sometimes I think you do just want to be keeping this in hand for the meme, the dream, you know. But for competitive play, it's more of just like, this is the perfect top deck. If you ever have that top deck, you basically win the game. And I'm not sure if there's a way to tutor up or find it. Let me know, like, if I'm missing something on that, because I'm not sure if there is a way to just guarantee have it. There is I mean, in historic, there's they just got the new card, the card just like bring card back to hand, the regrowth or whatever it was, I can't remember. Return card, and I think they have lots of like return creature cards or that kind of stuff. But not a whole lot of just return instants or sorceries. Once in Future, I believe, is the main one that kind of does it. I might be missing some others that could be out there. Yeah, a lot of them are permanent cards. A lot of them are creature cards. When it comes to instants and sorceries, they actually are sometimes harder to bring back. And they're harder with the kinds of cards that we're playing. So anyway, having a way to be able to, like a creature or a way to bring back a Harness Infinity would be great. Just to have extra copies of it. At the same time, though, I think honestly, the rest of the deck worked out better than I expected just by itself. Like Syr Konrad is just good going off with this stuff. If you ever having Acolyte of Affliction to bring it back, and then having the Harness Infinity just as an additional way to bring it back is super fun. The ramp that we had with Tangled Florahedron, I was worried with how few lands we had, just 19, that it wasn't going to be enough, but I felt like we had plenty of mana the whole time. Cards that you could bring in. Binding of the Titans, 2 mana. Each player mills 3 cards, so we can mill 3 with it. We can exile cards from graveyards. That's actually a decent top deck, even with Syr Konrad. Like if you play it out on the, if you top deck it with Syr Konrad, milling the 3 cards can be 3 points of damage, and it's each player, so it actually could be 6 points of damage potentially for this. And then exiling cards from our graveyard, where we typically want them for Harness Infinity, it could be a way that we can exile stuff, and it could be 2 more points of damage to their face from our side, and we gain life. And then we can return something from the graveyard, so it's also a way that we can bring Syr Konrad back from the graveyard to hand, or an Acolyte of Affliction, or anything good. And so Binding of the Titans, I think, is a card that's good in here, but it's not a creature, which is the biggest issue with it. That's why I didn't play it. That is another card to bring in here, though. I'm trying to think of anything else. Mana base wise, we could have brought in maybe one more Castle Locthwain. And Snarls, I like the Triomes here because they're the best thing to hit with Binding Titans. And I do like the ability to cycle every once in a while, like in the late game if we're just needing to hopefully hit into a Harness Infinity. I like the idea of having some things to cycle. Like is one of our other pieces of card draw that we had because we don't have a ton here. World Shaper was sweet. When we ramped up, I was surprised how fast we were ramping up into this 4-drop slot. And so honestly, I'm wondering if I might go down the Mammoths and go up 2 more World Shapers just for the fact that it's the thing that we want to do, but that's less lands, and we did play all the lands sometimes, and it was really nice. Anyway, I'm over talking it. This is a fun deck. I hope you guys enjoy it. If you did, leave a like, subscribe, all that jazz. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you guys so much. Help me get to 50,000 subscribers. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and tell other people to do it too. All right. Thank you guys. Bye.